Our first guest this week is Leonard Armenta. He's the CEO of SynFit Nutrition. They're a subsidiary of GenTech Holdings Incorporated. GTEH is their stock symbol. Leonard, great to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having us again. It's always a pleasure.
Now, GenTech has an October year end, which means your first quarter just ended April 30th. Tell us about some of the highlights from this last quarter.
Absolutely. It's definitely been a whirlwind for us, but it's great. I mean, if you look back to revenues for this quarter in 2020, which were virtually zero, we reported about $50,000 in assets on the balance sheet, revenues around $15,000. If you look into our quarter ending January 2021, we have assets in excess of $1 million, including significant cash reserves as well as inventory in hand. The quarter was around 90,000, up from, of course, 15,000, this same time last year. And then coming for this quarter ended for April 30th, 2021, our top line revenue was approaching $200,000, with, again, significant cash in the bank, significant assets on the balance sheet. And we cleaned up the $1 million judgment that was unfairly brought against us for company with some years ago. So that has been a huge thing for us. Just some individual things. I mean, our syrups, we sold close to 15,000 bottles of syrups in the quarter. Our brand new seasonings were close to 1,000. Our waffles and pancakes were approaching 4,000 bars, almost 18,000 bars. 2,500 of our spreads and close to just a little bit over 17,000 of our cookies were sold. So just a big quarter for us.
Basically a job well done.
I appreciate that, man. A lot of hard work, a lot of people behind the scenes working hard for us, that's for sure.
Now, we discussed recently in a previous program, you bought the brand Organics. What was the reason behind that acquisition? Where do you see SynFit taking that brand and growing it over the rest of 21?
Yeah, so the reason behind it is we had wanted to release an organics brand. Organic is definitely a really hot thing going on right now. People are moving that way pretty strongly. And so we thought that would be a really good brand to bring into us, to have the organic collagen, which a lot of people use in the coffee, which fits right in with our secret Javas. So our plan is really to start bringing some organic cookies, organic bars, some things like that work more directly, that focus on the organic brand.
Well, you mentioned Secret Javas. How's that rebrand going? I see you've moved the coffee processing to your facility in Colorado.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we completely rebranded the bags. Now they look really high end to go along with the high end coffee versus just a basic bag with a label on the front and back. We've got these beautiful new bags. We're about to launch our protein coffee. We're just finalizing the tasting on that. So it's going to be 14 grams of protein with 2 shots of espresso per serving for people. It tastes just like coffee, but with protein in it, which is great. And then we're also in the process of developing a coffee on the go product, which will be, like a ready to drink cold brew type thing.
Well, obviously you're growing very well organically, but we've spoken frequently on this show about how acquisition is important to you. What sort of targets are you looking at currently?
Yeah, so we've got several targets we're looking at. Our goal is to acquire those type of brands, $500,000 a year to $1 million top line revenue. We've got several in the works right now that we can't really speak about yet, but by December, it's going to be really good for us. We're also looking at some even larger acquisitions that we can do that, may be closing in Q3 2021. Of course, we're going to continue to focus on the functional food side of things. So anything that maybe we don't have through SynFit now that makes good money, that has good top line revenue that we know we can implement into our system, those are the type of things we're looking for. So we're still looking at more acquisitions. More are coming to us on a weekly basis of people wanting to kind of join that SynFit family. So we're pretty excited about that.
Well, how do you see acquisitions taking shape over the rest of 21?
Yeah, so with the acquisitions coming, our goal is, to basically, we'll see a run rate that go from like 80K per month to about 500K per month by December. It's really important for us to know that we are going to be using restricted stock as well as some cash within these deals. The idea is that we find these partners that want to be acquired by us that are really partners, that they're seeing what we're doing so that they see that the value of what they get in this restricted stock is going to be in 2 to 3 years.
As we put COVID in our rearview mirror, pretty much, are you seeing things that you adapted and pivoted that are going to stay permanent with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've put a nice strong hold into our direct sales through our websites, which are really starting to pick up. Our Amazon sales are doing really well. We've done a really good job of pivoting and being able to adapt in the manufacturing world with, bottles and packaging and things like that, so that we know now what we need to do to be ahead of the system if anything ever happens again, because supply chain still is an issue for a lot of people.
What's the biggest lesson you think you learned from COVID?
I think the biggest lesson is that, I'm almost 45 years old, and, you get kind of set in your ways of doing certain things. And it really has taught us that you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to change what you're doing. You have to be willing to listen to other people, because you may not always be the expert in those avenues. And so the biggest lesson is just to be a better listener, to be, just somebody who is willing to pivot and take the extra steps to make sure that your company continues to thrive.
Well, Leonard, we've talked before about your use of influencers for the SynFit brand. They seem to be consistently strong proponents of the brand. Is that strategy working out for you? What highlights can you share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's becoming really, really big for us. I mean, we've, of course, Miranda Maverick won her first fight since she was under the SynFit brand, which was really good. A really tough opponent. Has another fight booked for July 25th. We had a Russian fighter, Alexander, and he won his fight as well. And we actually have decided to bring him on to a full contract with us. So he's going to be a permanent influencer with us instead of just a fight thing. And a lot of people can see on our Instagram and things like that, where he was promoting us heavily, wearing SynFit shirts, SynFit hats in his media days for the UFC. Just big time. We're in the process of negotiating with an Olympic athlete right now that's going to compete in the Summer Olympics, and that should be closed for Secret Javas here real soon, as soon as he gets back from his national camp that he's doing right now for the Olympics. So everything we're doing is working really well, and these influencers are really pushing the product hard, and the reason why is they like the product. It's not like they are just being paid to promote a product. They actually like the product. They use the product. So they're promoting it hard, even more than what we've asked them to do. They're doing it. So we're really excited about that.
Well, when an influencer uses your gear on camera, it really does the job, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think after that fight, when he was doing all that stuff, I probably received 100 emails from not only shareholders, but other people saying, "Oh my gosh, I saw you guys' stuff on the UFC press conference." So it definitely brings a lot of attention, a lot of credibility to the company as well.
Once again, GenTech Holdings Incorporated. We're talking with the CEO of the SynFit subsidiary. Leonard, great job. Thanks so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having us, and I hope to do it again.